AITA, my mom is asking why am I not excited about my sister-in-law's pregnancy. I'm sorry, this is a long one, but I need some opinions outside of my family. So, my husband, 23M, and I, 23F, got married in November. We're both happy and live in the house we bought before we got married. We're not currently trying to have a baby, but we aren't necessarily opposed to getting pregnant. We've been talking about it for about a year, and we both agree that we don't want to wait a super long time to start trying. Last month, I had felt off and had super bad morning sickness. So, I decided to take a pregnancy test, and it was positive. I was super excited, and so was my husband. I made a doctor's appointment, and when I got the blood work back, it was determined that I had a chemical pregnancy. I had gotten myself so worked up that I was heartbroken. We decided not to tell our families because my mother is the kind of person who thinks you should be married for at least a year before trying to have kids. So, I really didn't want to get into it. A few weeks later, we had to go to the bank to get my mom's name off my bank account, it's been that way since I was 17, and put my husband's name on it. My mom offered to pick us up since she would be driving past our house to get to the bank. We agreed and didn't think anything of it. On the car ride there, my mom started talking about our finances. She said that we spend too much money and need to start budgeting. She says this pretty much every time we see her, but this time she was getting on to my husband, saying that he needs to do a better job of supporting me and suggesting that he get a second job. Side note, he just had started a new job after being let go from a job where he made $26 per hour for reasons that were not his fault. I decided that I was not going to put up with this, and it soon turned into a screaming match between me and my mom. Once it calmed down, she said, "I know about your OBGYN appointment. I hope you aren't pregnant." I immediately burst into tears and said, "I was, but now I'm not." Her response was, "Good. It breaks my heart to think of you having a baby right now. You are too immature and not financially stable enough." The rest of the car ride was silent. Now, this past weekend, my brother, 25M, and his wife, 24F, who had been married for almost 3 years, announced their pregnancy, and my mom was beyond excited. She was screaming, jumping up and down, saying, "My first grandbaby." I acted the best I could and hugged them both and congratulated them. I excused myself to the bathroom when everyone was talking. No one was paying attention to me, so I didn't think anything of it. I collected myself and went back to join the party. Everyone was still excited and happy, so I assumed everything was fine. The next day, my mom calls me and proceeds to say how rude I was and that I made everyone uncomfortable, therefore stealing their spotlight. I didn't even know what to say, so I just said I'm sorry, and hung up. I haven't said anything to anyone since, but my mom is still texting me, demanding I apologize to my brother and SIL. So, am I the a-hole? Edit, my husband was at the announcement. According to him, no one even turned around to see I wasn't there. They were all talking to each other. My mom is the only one who noticed, so there's that. Update, 11 months later. Don't forget to subscribe for more Reddit stories. After everything happened, I decided to take a step back and stop talking to my family unless it was in a large group gathering like Christmas or something. I really think that helped greatly. I got all of my financial information figured out and made sure I had her taken off of everything. The space was very beneficial, and I think it helped me grow a backbone. Fast forward, I found out that I was expecting our rainbow baby back in September, and my husband and I were over the moon. It was definitely hard at first, but we couldn't be more excited. We decided that we were going to keep everything a secret for a little while to figure out how to tell everyone. That worked out well, because about a month later my nephew was born, so that helped get an idea about my mom's attitude and emotions. It seemed like something had changed. She still made a few comments here and there, but it was nothing too bad. Later, my husband and I talked and decided that we would tell everyone at Thanksgiving. That way, if anyone had anything negative to say, everyone would hear it. So, we came up with cute ways to tell both of our families. I had made a onesie that said, "The turkey is not the only thing in the oven," and held it up during the family picture so when you looked at the picture you could see it. Surprisingly, everyone was excited, including my mother. She instantly started crying and gave me and my husband huge hugs. It was a huge relief since I had been stressed out about it since I found out. But of course, I stayed skeptical since she was in front of the whole family. But to my surprise, she called me the next day telling me that she is so happy for us and asking how I'm feeling and how far along I am and telling me that if we ever need anything to call her. which to me, is something I've never heard. Going forward, I continued to keep my distance, but I still talked to her when she called. Which she called a lot. She called me every few days, asking how I'm feeling since she knew I was having a hard time eating because of morning sickness, more like all-day sickness. That really meant a lot to me. And she still does that. I'm now 22 weeks pregnant with our baby girl and finally feeling better. We painted the nursery this weekend, and she was over the moon when I asked if she wanted to help, and she has already offered to watch our dog and cats when the baby comes so that my husband and I can have some time to bond with her. I will continue to place boundaries, but it's nice to have a mom that actually makes sure I'm okay and offers help. Thank you, everyone, for the support, and I can't wait to meet our baby girl.